Hi guys, welcome to the very first episode of QuadShack. We're going to be kicking things off with our Viewpoint segment. Here we're going to challenge 3 chefs to make their own version of the same meal.
Hi everyone, my name is Kim. Hi everyone, my name is Chinazo.
Hi everybody, my name is Chisom.
And today they're going to be making brownies.
Welcome to my apartment in London. Today we are going to make Biscoff s'mores brownies. If you don't know what Biscoffs is, this is it. It's it's a ginger biscuit from the UK. If you can't find Biscoff, you can use any other kind of biscuit you dip in tea. That will work fine as well. So yeah, let's get started.
Okay, so I'm just gonna make this as quick as possible and I will just go through it with you. Yeah. Okay, so this is 100% cocoa. So it's very cocoa-y. So that tells me I'm definitely adding more sugar to this.
So today I am going to be making brownies. But I've been putting my own twist on it. This is just me being lazy because brownies are not my thing. So yeah, let us get right into it.
So the first thing you're going to have to do is line a baking tin, specifically for brownies, with some butter and some parchment paper, non-stick preferably, and we're going to get started on the base. So for that you're going to need 300 grams of whatever biscuits you have, crushed like this, like my sister did for me earlier. You're going to need 4 tablespoons of golden syrup or honey or whatever sweetener liquid you can find, and then also 90 grams of butter. We're going to stick this in the microwave, mix everything up for our base.
So obviously I'm gonna open the brownie mix first, and this is the Betty Crocker triple chocolate chunk brownie mix. Oh my god. And it's actually very simple. Like, anybody can make this. Well, I hope so. Well, if I can do it, anybody can.
I've stuck my butter and golden syrup in the microwave for about 3 minutes. You'll find the consistency like this. You want to mix it up a little bit first, just to emulsify everything. It doesn't have to be too accurate, and then you're going to pour it on top of the Biscoff crumbs. Try to get everything in there, and then you want to mix everything up until you get a wet sand consistency. And now you just want to pack all of that down with the back of a spoon to get an even base layer.
So the recipe calls for 4 tablespoons of water. I've already put in 2, but I think it's a bit silly for just 2, and then 2 of oil. I don't know, I'm just gonna follow it.
As you can see, is 112 grams of dark chocolate and 141 grams of butter. And what we're going to do is melt that gently over heat. A lot of people prefer to do it over like a bain-marie, so it melts slower and you can control the heat a little bit more, but I'm lazy and I can't be bothered with that, so I'm just going to do this instead. So this has just melted into one cohesive melted chocolate substance. Once you reach that, what you want to do is get a 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, preferably Dutch process for better flavor, and add that in, along with a tablespoon of espresso powder, which is optional. You don't have to add that, but that just amplifies the chocolate flavor, and a teaspoon of salt. And then you want to mix all of that up, and then afterwards set it aside.
Okay, so watch me spill this everywhere. Bosh. Let's go. So 2 tablespoons of oil. 1 and 2. And then 1 medium free-range egg. I don't even know if this is a free-range egg, and I probably should have done that with a fork, but obviously laziness, so I had to do it my own way.
This next part is going to require a stand mixer because you are going to beat 3 eggs until they've tripled in volume and have gone really pale. I have done this with just a hand whisk before and it's perfectly fine. It just takes a really long time. So yeah, crack 3 of these in. And then what you want to do as well is add a cup of granulated sugar and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar in there as well. And then you want to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I just use the cup to measure it, not the cup, the cap to measure it. A lot of people do that, but feel free to just measure out an accurate teaspoon if you want to. Yeah, and then just whisk it until it's, like I said, tripled in volume.
So I just added a pinch of salt and then gonna add a cup of white sugar. Or a cup and a 1/4 actually, and then a cup of brown sugar. That's just one crazy.
So we are mixing, and I really don't see this turn out well, but look, I'll show you guys now. Okay, so guys, this just doesn't look right. Like, that amount of liquid is just too small for that amount of powder. Normal me would have just poured like milk in it, but I think good me is gonna like be nice and just actually listen to Betty Crocker for once.
So once you've reached a consistency something like this, you want to basically stop, and then you can either trickle your chocolate mixture in whilst it's still beating or just add it all in at one time. What I'm going to do is probably trickle it in. So yeah, we'll get started on that. Once your batter is all incorporated like this, you want to just give it a mix to make sure that any bits at the bottom are fully incorporated into the mix. And then the last thing you want to do is fold in a 1/2 cup of flour, all-purpose flour. Mix that together and then your brownie batter will be done. Now, as you can see, I'm using a figure-of-8 folding technique. That's just to make sure that you don't knock out any air that you've beaten in your eggs. But you don't have to be too precise with it because we're not going for a very airy brownie. We're going more for something that's a little chewier, a little softer and fudgier. So yeah, keep going with this until you see no white pockets of flour anymore.
I told you guys that I wasn't going to listen to them, so let's do my own thing. So I put in 2 tablespoons of evaporated milk, and this is the carnations one. This is actually so nice. I actually love to just drink this alone, but let's see. If not, I'm just going to put water because what? I told you. These guys don't know what they're talking about, because I put an extra 4 tablespoons of the evaporated milk and then 2 more of water, and it looks so much better already.
So as you keep mixing, you'll notice that your batter is going to get a lot thicker, and when you reach something like this, where when you droop it down it creates ribbons in the mix, you are basically ready to go, and you're going to pour that on top of your biscuit base.
So currently going to preheat the oven to 180 degrees.
So this is my twist. It's not regular brownies. It's going to be like coconut flavored brownies. So this is coconut oil. The recipe calls for butter, but I'm going to be using coconut oil and some coconut flakes. I'm going to add them in to the brownies. And then I will add, so that's a half cup. And then I'm going to add a second half cup to make it 1 cup. And then I'm going to add pure vanilla.
Once you've poured your batter in, it should look something like this. It's quite full in this tin. If you use a bigger tin, obviously it's going to be not as thick. So this next step is completely optional. It's better if you do have Biscoff spread because it honestly makes the brownie taste so much better. What you want to do is get some of this and dollop it on top of the batter and swirl it in just to get more of that Biscoff flavor. What I've done is stick my Biscoff spread in the microwave for 2 minutes just to help liquefy it a bit, and it'll make it easier to spread around. And this is also a really good point to preheat your oven to 180 degrees, so go ahead and do that.
Okay, so I've decided to go from 170 to 180. Yeah, there we go. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm now for my twist. I feel like I'm doing the most. Maltesers. Who doesn't love them? Anyways, if you guys haven't noticed already, I can't open anything. See, there has to be a thing here.
And now what you want to do is using the back of your spoon, just swirl that in with the brownie mix. It doesn't have to be super pretty. Just make sure you can kind of get everything in every single bite, preferably. If you find that your Biscoff spread starts sinking to the bottom, that's fine too. It'll be more incorporated within the rest of the brownie. We don't really need to worry about the top looking pretty or anything like that because it's going to be covered in marshmallows anyway. Perfect. So once you've done that, stick it in the oven for about 30-40 minutes. Take it out halfway through and give it a crack just to get that crinkled top texture, and then bake it for another 20 minutes.
So the Maltesers are in. Just gonna mix that all around for some chocolatey goodness. And then I've already done the baking tin, which is very good because I'm never usually this prepared, but you know, it is what it is. And also guys, the ghetto, I've been using tin foil. Every time I go to the shop I always forget to buy baking paper, but you know what, it's okay. So this is the final product, and yeah, so I'm just gonna pop this in the oven and see. It's gonna take 25 minutes, I think. Yeah, so I'm gonna put it in now.
So my brownies have been in the oven for about 20 minutes now. If you're doing a bigger batch or in a bigger tin, then bake it for 30 minutes and then take it out. But at this point, what you want to do halfway through the bake is take it out. You'll see that it's still very, very, very wobbly, but what you want to do is just drop it on the surface like this. It'll deflate a little bit, but it'll also crack, which will help with the texture on the top. Stick it back in the oven for another 20 minutes. So I ended up putting the brownies in for an additional 10 minutes, so in total that would have been 50 minutes of bake time, just because they ended up being a little bit thicker. They are now finally done, so come take a look. As you can see, the crack top worked its wonders. And now what you want to do is switch your oven to the broiler setting, so it's the one where it has a little zigzag on the top. You don't have to do this if you have a blowtorch, but I don't have one, so that's what I'm gonna do. And then what we're gonna do is take this over here, and this is where the brownie is basically transformed into a Biscoff s'mores brownie. I have a packet of marshmallows here, and what we're gonna do is just put them on top, stick them in the broiler, wait until they get golden brown, and then we'll continue the next step. Try to space them a little bit out, because when they melt and caramelize, they will spread out a little bit, so you don't have to worry about compressing all of them in.
Okay, so now everything's in the oven and it's time to clean up.
So the brownies just came out of the oven with the broiler setting on, and this is what it looks like with all the marshmallows. Like I said, please do keep an eye on it, because it literally takes like 5 minutes and they go from being melted to being burned. So I literally sat in front of my oven and watched it as it caramelized on the top, and now what we're gonna do is remove it from the tray. Ideally you want to let it cool down a little bit, but because it's like 3 a.m. where I am, we're just gonna do it now. If you lined your tin with the sides on, well, not the sides on, just the sides like this sticking out a little bit, it'll help you pull everything up. So you just want to run the knife around the edges to help it come out. And yes, that will happen. Just be really careful. Whoa.
So this is the final product. I don't really like how it looks because it just makes me itchy, but we'll see.
Yeah, crazy. So that is what our brownie looks like so far. What I'm going to do is decorate the top a little bit with some broken bits of Biscoff biscuits and some melted chocolate that I've just stuck in the oven. I'm going to use an oven mitt for this because it's still really hot. There's no real way to do this, you just do it however you like. I think I'm going to go for like a messy circly thing, and then kind of cover the top with some Biscoff crumbs. So here we go.
Now for the final touch. It looks a bit sad, but you know, it is what it is. I'm recording and doing it, so.
This is our finished brownie. It looks very chaotic because it kind of is. But if you do it correctly and leave the brownie in the tin to cool off a little bit, the marshmallow won't drip everywhere like it has here. But just for video's sake, I'm going to cut a slice so you can see what it looks like. As you can see, the biscuit base there, and then the fudgy brownie and the marshmallow top. I hope you guys try this recipe out. If you like it, then keep watching this channel to find more recipes from me, and yeah, good luck with the diabetes that comes afterwards. I'm gonna try this now, but I'm not gonna do it on camera because there's no way I can fit this into my mouth. Okay, bye!